Guys, welcome to the ElkShape YouTube channel. Dan Staten here. Appreciate you guys coming in to this episode because we're going to drop the differences between my V3, 29, and 33 setup at the time of this recording. And I'm going to break down my Pnuma Gear systems that I used this last fall, which ones are like all-star home runs, must-have. Go through the lineup, get you guys a little bit more familiar with that if you're interested. If you want a discount code to Pnuma, I can save you 20%. I'll tell you that at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and break down these bows first. The V3X 33, awesome setup, granite riser, 33 inches, super tuned and doped, measured the specs, ATA, brace height, wrote that down. If you notice, I'm gonna go right to the most obvious. I got a direct mount. This is the Fast Eddie triple stack dovetail. Direct mounted because when I put it in the bridge lock, no matter which way I flip this, loosen this, tighten this, got this to where I ran out of windage to the right. So what I ended up doing is just like, hey, that's fine, I'll just go old school direct mount. But then I needed, for this one piece quiver, I needed more room to clear. So I just took the Q-Lite spacers off another setup and put those in there, and it worked out beautifully. So we have clearance here. None of my arrows are even touching the rest, and they would touch the rest without the spacers, even if I was in the bridge lock. So spacers have now created room for the direct mount, as well as the Epsilon rest from Hamsky, which is made specifically for the Mathews setups. It's not that different, but you can't really move it. It comes in there set at 13/16 off the riser. You can obviously make micro adjustments, but you can't move the actual rest itself. It's really a snug, tight fit. Because I didn't go through the bridge lock, I silver sharpied both sides here, and I'm gonna probably move back to the bridge lock once Spot Hog comes out with their little attachment over here, which will give you more windage adjustment. And the only reason I'm gonna do that is because I think it'll streamline my setup. It won't change too much. It won't change my sight tape. It might change my elevation a little bit. I like the one piece quiver. It comes on and off. This is gonna be my tack setup. It's set at 60-pound draw weight, 80% let off, allowing for a lot more repetition, as well as not having variance in the back half of like a 3D mountain course. I want to beat Josh Jones. I want to beat MFJJ, and I'm gonna need everything in my favor to do that. So that's why I'm gonna shoot at least big sky tack with this setup. I typically use my bow hunting setup for 3D archery, wear boots, bino pack, everything, just so I can kind of have perfect practice, but I'm going out there to try to get my best score. We have the AEE mountain stabilizers. This is a 15-inch bar with a 10-degree drop with the gripper, as well as the gripper in the back with a 6-inch bar. 7 ounces usually is what I go, 6 to 7 ounces in the back, 6-inch bar, and then I can kind of tweak it to my settings. Custom strings from Podium Archer, that's Josh's string brand. 1/4-inch peep just to match the housing on the triple stack. For arrows, I'm using a Rip Extreme Velocity from Victory. The total arrow weight is 411 grains. I am using a steel insert, outsert, half cert, whatever you want to call it, from Gold Tip, and 125 point weight. So the FOC is over 15%. I cut the arrows as short as possible. I do helical to the left because the bow seems to spit the arrows out to the left. It's not a must. You don't have to do that, but I like doing that. And I like helicals. I've tinkered with all sorts of offsets with 4 and 3 fletches, straight fletched, and I always come back to helical. It seems to do the best for the end goal, which is to shoot fixed broadheads extremely accurate. So that's what works for me. I use Arizona Easy Jig. I sell those on my website. I have several. I can fletch up a dozen arrows in minutes because it does 3 veins at a time versus a Blitzenberger, you're doing 1 vein at a time. I use a primer pin, AEE Max Bond. No problems there. I think you guys should fletch your own arrows. I always have the engaged limb legs on. I do shoot with them on. I like keeping them on even when I'm hunting. It's just nice to be able to set your bow down and not have to like have it on the ground or touch the ground. It keeps the cams off the ground, which is huge for me. Speed-wise, we're getting 295 feet a second with 60-pound pulling weight. Obviously a 410 arrow. If I were to hunt with this, I could take those switch weight mods out and bump up to 75 like the 29. I may or may not do that depending on how I'm feeling. And I may bump my arrow weight up as well. But all in all, this would be a pretty good setup for antelope and whitetail. Okay, moving on to the 29, I'm very familiar with it. I got it in August of 2021. I hunted antelope. I shot an antelope buck, an Idaho elk, a handful of Texas whitetail does, and a Texas whitetail buck. I shot an Arizona bull with it. So this thing is definitely my hunting rig for out west. This is what I'm gonna pack around in the elk woods. It is significantly more compact than the 33. A few inches does make a difference when you're hauling around. If you're a bigger guy, you should go with the 33 all day, every day. Custom strings from MFJJ. We haven't put the tubes on here to cover the speed knocks yet. I have a nose button on both bows. I like the nose button. I've heard people make comments of like, well, how could you support the guy who makes those? I just buy the nose buttons, man. I don't get them for free. I just buy them. I like them. It's a personal preference. You do you. As far as the plates, I do have the ElkShape side plates on both setups. Less grip, less riser to touch, less torquey. For me, I just like a real slim profile, and I love these side plates. They're handmade, and so they're backed by manufacturer guaranteed craftsmanship. I love that. They're made by Shadow Creek with the ElkShape brand. Epsilon rest, again, we had to do a little bit of top hatting. I ran into windage problems with the bridge lock. I have a Fast Eddy attached here. I did have the Fast Eddy XL 2-pin, but I was running out of windage once we put the Epsilon on. So you had to choose, do you want to have your arrows super tuned perfect, coming off the rest beautifully? My arrows were definitely shooting to the right a little bit, and I wanted to make more windage adjustment that I didn't have. So I took it out of the bridge lock, went back to just a Fast Eddy direct mount. And when I did that, I had to create more space for this low pro quiver from Mathews. So I used, again, the Q-Lite spacers. I put them on both, gave me enough room to clear the rest and the sight. I will go back to the bridge lock once Spot Hog comes out with their little doodad that gives you more windage. We will tinker with that, but that's, who knows when that's gonna happen. I certainly don't know. I have a 12-inch stabilizer in the front. Again, AE Mountain Series, 1 ounce up front, 6 to 7 ounces, actually 7 ounces in the back with the 6-inch short stabilizer from AEE. And people ask me, well, why do you use AEE? They're just a little more streamlined, a little more slim. All those stabilizers are awesome out there. You do you. This is just what I've found to like the best. It's a quick detach amount so I can put it in my bow case. I got the 10-degree drop on both setups. And then with the gripper in the back on both setups, I can really adjust that back bar so that the bow is rock steady. As far as arrows go, I'm bouncing back and forth between the X Impact and the Rip TKOs. Currently, the bow is set up for the Rip TKO. This is a 448 grain total setup, 80 grain gold tip steel insert. It's just so easy to glue in. It doesn't come out. And then you just screw in your 125 grain fill point. Again, I do helical, AE, ElkShape, Max Stealth vanes, Max helical to the left. This is just the Victory knock that comes with it. And these arrows have been really awesome for me. They go into foam really good and pull out of foam really good. They go through animals. They're durable. I like the material. I like the X Impacts. I like the 4mm. I like that they're maybe a little more wind resistant. They might even hit even harder. And they're very light GPI. Gives you a lot of front and center options with the focus system, which is what I use. And we've done videos on that in the past. So that's another good option. I like both. I carry both. That's where I'm at. So now that we've talked about kind of both setups, let me go ahead and break down some Pnuma Gear stuff. I just want to cover this video and make it an asset for you guys if you're in the market for clothing. There's a lot of great options out there. I definitely work with Pnuma. I'm biased a little bit, but I've also put them through the paces. I'm fortunate to get a lot of prototypes and do testing and give them feedback, and that is an honor. So let's go through the Pnuma Gear and I'll get you a discount code at the very end. Part 2 of this video, okay? So we're gonna go over Pnuma Gear based on your guys' comments. Can you do a review? I would say this is going to be an overview. I am wearing a base layer. This is the base Haven. The bottoms are right here. I don't wear base layers a lot of time when I'm elk hunting. That'll get too sweaty. Elk hunting is just too physical. But if you're doing colder weather hunts, this is gonna come in super handy. Both the top and the bottom are Polartec. So there's a synthetic and wool blend. The merino is actually going to be up against your skin. And because we have merino involved in the equation, it's going to be odor resistant, breathable, moisture wicking, super lightweight. This is a great system to have as your base layers. Next up, the Pursuit pant. This is what I wear day in and day out from August pretty much through October. This is an athletic pant for hunting athletic animals out west. Waistline specific. So in my instance, I'm a 30-32. You can order to the exact specs and expect a good fit. I can't stand pants that you have to wear a belt or they'll fall off. Some people don't have that problem. I like pants to fit really well in the waist. 4-way stretch. So again, this is gonna have room for you to be mobile and feel athletic. I don't like pants that I put on that I don't get that opportunity to feel like I can be a ninja in the woods. There's reinforced overlays on the stitching. You got yourself a pretty athletic pant. There's 5 pockets total, only 1 in the back, and it does zip. A lot of times I put my phone back there. I don't put my phone in this middle pocket here because it goes right down over your thigh. It's nice when you're whitetail hunting or sitting in a stand to have that there, but when you're hiking, you don't want to put a lot of stuff in this pocket. It's gonna go right against your thigh. It's not very comfortable. These integrated knee pads are awesome. They're very lightweight. They're not like those big, bulky knee pads that kind of came out in the earlier days, not only Pnuma, but other companies. So here's the knee pad. It can come out. There's just a little bit of a Velcro. So if you want to take the knee pads out for some reason, you can do that. I personally am gonna leave them in. I'm constantly crawling, stalking on my knees, and the worst, especially in antelope desert country where there's cactus and everything wants to bite you, including rattlesnakes. This is where the knee pads shine the most. So I'm a huge believer in knee pads integrated into the pants, and that's why I love the Pursuit pant the most. Okay, I put the knee pad back in. There's 2 Velcros. It's padded back in. This is the Renegade long sleeve. This is the Renegade quarter zip. This is the Renegade short sleeve. So the entire Renegade lineup is very breathable, moisture wicking. They have 1-way moisture transfer, so they're gonna be able to wick moisture away from the skin. They're a poly blend, so it's gonna be antimicrobial, very good athletic fit. There's a stitching across the chest. I would get all 3. If I had to pick one, it would be just the Renegade long sleeve. All right, so this is the Palisade Puffy. This is a prototype that I got back in April of 2021, and this is the Palisade Puffy that I used in all my hunts. So I don't hunt out west without a puffy. I'm skinny, it's crisp. I can tell you right now, on opening day of elk season in 2021 in Idaho, where I camped at, I woke up to everything frozen, all my water, frost on my bow. It was 20 degrees and it was August 30th. And so to not have a puffy would make 0 sense to me. This thing is awesome. First off, it's very packable. So there's a stuff sack that you can kind of fold it inside itself and put it wherever you need to in your pack. It's always going to be in my backpack. It is water resistant and it will dry fast if it does get wet. So we're talking Primaloft Gold insulation down. The blend is going to be a 90-10 750 fill. This is more than enough to keep you warm, and it's kind of like the last piece that you would want to get, but you wouldn't want to leave home without it when you're hunting out west. So these next 2 items are the Alpha Verdicts jacket and vest. Talk about the vest first. So the vest is your perfect mid-layer. Layering systems are awesome. They come on and come off, and then you're just constantly adapting to what the weather's giving you when you're out hunting. This thing is windproof. This thing is water resistant. It's all season and it has an athletic fit. There's 100 grams of Primaloft in here, and then also the pocket in the inside serves as also a stuff sack. So again, you can fold it up, put it in your pack, take it on and off. Layering systems are keen for the mountain. Talk about this Alpha Verdicts jacket because it was made for bow hunters in mind, which is dear near my heart. So the way that it's going to fit your sleeves, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you're not going to have anything sticking out in the way of your string. So it was built with bow hunters in mind. Again, this is windproof and water resistant. 100 grams of Primaloft. It's got a form-fitting hood, and the inner pocket is also a stuff sack. I would say all season, athletic fit, and the angled articulation for us bow hunters. The hood's not insane. The hood really fits perfect. You could still hold it full draw. This is my favorite jacket out of the entire lineup. So everything I just covered is kind of like, those are my go-tos, those are my must-haves. I'll give you a couple of honorable mentions that they do make. This doesn't mean it's necessarily new for 2022, but it's good go-to stuff. They do make just a merino base layer in Kaza. This is the Gunnison hoodie. It's a little bit heavier of a hoodie. It's got the kangaroo pouch. This is also something I use quite a bit as kind of that mid layer. If I'm wearing a short sleeve, I'll go over the top with the Gunnison hoodie and then maybe a Vertex jacket or vest, and then I can peel layers as I need. Rain gear. Pnuma makes the quietest rain gear. Although I didn't get to wear it very much in the rain this year, just not one of those years. I didn't hunt the brush country, rain country of the Cascades in Oregon and Washington, or the brush rainy forests of North Idaho. But if I did, rain gear is life. And so yeah, this stuff is the quietest rain gear. It's exciting to be able to put rain gear on and not feel like you're going whoosh, 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 and you can still make stalks on animals in the rain. The brush guard pant is something that I would definitely wear. I wore it when I was whitetail hunting in brush country of South Texas. This is not the pant to wear if you're backpacking. It's pretty tight to the waist and you know what. And so I call these nut huggers. I like them for shed hunting up here where I live, possibly hunting North Idaho brush country, but this is not the pant to put a ton of miles on. This is more like if you're a whitetail hunter, you live in Texas or Midwest, and this is just a cool pant that's indestructible. I wear it as work pants around the house. Your Waypoint system, these are the Waypoint pants. They have knee pads all season, a little bit warmer. They have that mid-weight fleece lining inside. It's got a quiet soft shell Scotch guard, which with DWR, which makes it water resistant. 50-mile-an-hour windproof, according to the specs. It's abrasion resistant. I haven't put any holes in any of their pants. It's also got zips for venting all throughout. Very breathable, great all season, late season type pant. They also make a Waypoint jacket, very similar to the pant, all season. It's got all the same principles with the DWR, wind resistant, the inner fleece. It's got, all their elbows and articulation areas are gonna be reinforced. You're not gonna put holes in it. And that Waypoint system is really gonna become in handy like late October through the end of the season for me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. We broke down kind of the differences between the V329 and the 3.3 for me. Talked about the Pnuma systems and what I wore for 2021 and what I'm gonna be wearing for 2022. Some exciting things. I do have a discount code, ElkShape20. It'll get you 20% off your first purchase on Pnuma, so make it a good one if you're looking or shopping. If you're in the market, check it out. If you're not, that's cool too. We're just going over gear, geeking out, ABT in the name of better elk hunting. Appreciate you guys. Keep working hard. The off seasons where you're going to separate yourself through your preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.